7 miles off the coast of England, in the choppy waters of the North Sea, sits a strange sight. It looks like a forgotten oil rig, a rusting relic of a bygone era. This is Sealand, the smallest self-proclaimed nation on Earth. You won't find it on most maps. But for a few dreamers and rebels, Sealand represents something profound, a defiant middle finger to the established order, a testament to the enduring power of individual freedom. Sealand's story is one of improbable dreams and audacious ambition. It's a tale of pirates and princes, of international intrigue and legal battles. It's a story that makes you question everything you thought you knew about nations, borders, and the very meaning of sovereignty. This is a place where a handful of people dared to create their own country, their own rules, their own destiny. Sealand's origins are rooted in conflict. During World War II, the North Sea was a battleground. The German Navy, the Kriegsmarine, posed a constant threat to British shipping lanes. To counter this, the British Admiralty devised a bold and unorthodox plan. A series of fortified towers anchored in international waters, forming a protective line against enemy incursions. These were not your typical military installations. Dubbed Monsal forts, they resembled something out of science fiction. Imagine massive, stilted platforms rising from the sea, connected by walkways and bristling with anti-aircraft guns. These forts housed hundreds of men, tasked with a vital mission to intercept and destroy German aircraft and patrol boats. Life on the forts was harsh and unforgiving. The men endured relentless cold, howling winds, and the ever-present threat of enemy attack. Yet, they persevered, their bravery and sacrifice playing a crucial role in securing British waters. When the war ended, these steel sentinels were decommissioned, left to the elements, their purpose served, their story seemingly over. But the Monsal forts, tough and unyielding, had one more chapter to write. The 1960s were a time of change, of rebellion, of pushing boundaries. The airwaves, once tightly controlled, became a new frontier. Across Europe, a phenomenon emerged. Pirate radio stations, broadcasting music and counterculture messages from ships and offshore platforms, challenging the established order. These rogue broadcasters, broadcasting from international waters, were beyond the reach of national laws. One such platform was Ruff's Tower, a former Monsal fort, abandoned and forgotten, standing silent in the North Sea. In 1966, it caught the eye of Paddy Roy Bates, a former British Army major with a taste for adventure and a nose for opportunity. Bates, a charismatic and audacious figure, saw potential in the abandoned fort. He envisioned a haven for pirate radio, a platform free from the constraints of British broadcasting regulations. And so, Radio Essex, later renamed Britain's Better Music Station, was born. From the decks of Ruff's Tower, rock and pop music blared across the airwaves, reaching a wide audience hungry for something new, something different. Bates's pirate radio station became a sensation, a symbol of the rebellious spirit of the times, a thorn in the side of the British government. But this was just the beginning of Bates's audacious plans for Ruff's Tower. He had something far more radical in mind. Paddy Roy Bates was not content with simply running a rogue radio station. He had grander ambitions. He envisioned Ruff's Tower not just as a platform for broadcasting, but as something more, something unprecedented, an independent nation. On September 2, 1967, Bates, with characteristic boldness, declared independence. He proclaimed the existence of the Principality of Sealand, with himself as Prince Roy and his wife Joan as Princess Joan. This was not a joke, not a publicity stunt. Bates truly believed in Sealand's sovereignty. He drafted a constitution, designed a flag, a red field with a black and white diagonal band, and even minted coins. Sealand, in Bates's eyes, was a nation in every sense of the word, a sovereign entity free from the constraints of any other nation. The world understandably took notice. The reaction to Sealand's declaration of independence was a mixture of amusement, bemusement, and outright hostility. The British government scoffed at Bates's claims, dismissing Sealand as a quirky sideshow. Neighboring countries watched with a mixture of curiosity and concern. But Bates, undeterred, pressed on, determined to secure recognition for his micronation. He issued passports, designed postage stamps, and even fended off attempts by the British government to shut down his operations. The story of Sealand took a darker turn in the 1970s. A group of German businessmen claiming to represent investors approached Bates with a proposition: They proposed to turn Sealand into a tax haven, a center for offshore banking and commerce. Bates, enticed by the potential economic benefits, agreed. However, the deal soon soured. The Germans, it turned out, had ulterior motives. They staged a coup, taking Bates's son hostage and claiming control of Sealand. Bates, however, was not a man to be trifled with. He responded with characteristic force, assembling a group of loyalists and storming the platform. The invaders were quickly subdued and expelled from Sealand. The Sealand incident, as it became known, only served to solidify Sealand's image as a bastion of eccentricity and intrigue. It also highlighted the complex legal questions surrounding Sealand's status. Was it truly an independent nation? Or was it, as the British government maintained, simply an abandoned platform subject to British law? These questions were further complicated by a bizarre incident in the 1990s. After the murder of fashion designer Gianni Versace, it was discovered that the alleged killer, Andrew Cunanan, had obtained a Sealand passport. The story of Sealand, though undeniably quirky, raises profound questions about the nature of nationhood, sovereignty, and international law. Can a handful of people, occupying a platform in the North Sea, truly claim to be a sovereign nation? The answer, it seems, is far from clear-cut. Sealand, despite its diminutive size and unusual origins, has become an unlikely symbol of individual freedom, of the right to self-determination, of the enduring power of human ingenuity. It's a story that captures the imagination, forcing us to confront our assumptions about the world and the very nature of borders and nations. Sealand's future remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: the story of this improbable micronation, a testament to the audacity of dreams and the enduring human desire for freedom,